Okay? So you need to know if there's a left or a right. All right, how do you identify? How do you tell if it's a left or right?
Top socket.
You can look at the top socket, all right? So the head is always going to face medially, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's one way of looking at it. Because if it's going this way, then you have a problem. It's going that way. But then you also look here, the medial epicondyle is pointy compared to the lateral epicondyle. And it's facing medially. It's not facing laterally. And then you know the olecranon fossa is always in the posterior aspect, right? And so that's always posterior. So you need to know a couple things on here. This right here where my hand is would be into what? Surgical neck. And then therefore this would be what? The anatomical neck.
Anatomical neck.
Right? And then the area over here, this is the head. You have this part of the bone right here and this part of the bone here. These are called what? Tubercles. You have a greater tubercle and a lesser tubercle. The greater is higher up. It's more proximal to the head. The lesser is lower, but the lesser is bigger. And then in between the two tubercles is what? What would it be in between the tubercles called in Latin? Intertubercular groove. All right, intertubercular groove, because it's in between the tubercles. Don't be throwing things at me. This is what over here?
Deltoid.
Deltoid tuberosity. It's an elevated area. It's a little rough. You come down to the distal end, and you have, this is called what? Medial epicondyle, lateral epicondyle. Think about what's happening here. Now remember the radius? All right, so this would be what? This fossa. It's the radial fossa, right? Because the radius attaches in there. So the radius rotates. So the radius attaches right into that fossa. And then you have the ulna, all right? The coronoid process of the ulna that are attached to the coronoid fossa. Coronoid fossa, radial fossa. Then you have this whole area down here that's called a condyle. Epicondyle, epicondyle, condyle. Condyle forms an articulation with the bone below it. The epicondyle serves as muscle attachment spots for tendons. Okay? Lateral epicondyle, medial epicondyle, condyle. The condyle has two components. One component is the trochlea. The other component is the capitulum. The two of them make up the condyle. If I turn it and you're looking at it from the posterior, that way, all right, you see the olecranon fossa. Okay, and we have an ulnar bone, please. All right, so the ulna now is going to fit right into right there. All right, see how it goes up? So the coronoid process is going to fit into the coronoid fossa. The olecranon fits into the olecranon fossa. This is called the olecranon. The inside of it is the trochlea. This is the coronoid process. All right. This is the ulnar notch, or the ulnar tuberosity, and then you have the styloid process. Okay. The radius. Thank you. All right. Radial head. All right. It's going to come up in here like this. All right. It forms an articulation like that. All right. At the radial tuberosity and the ulnar tuberosity, it'll rotate like that, and then it comes up and it'll fit right into that fossa. That way. Like that. Everybody see that? How it slides? Okay. Styloid process. Styloid process. Remember the little pointy ends. Okay? Alright. Put these back. Alright. We have about another half hour. What I want